Hello, and welcome to the Metro MLS webinar reviewing saved searches in tax information. In this webinar, I will explain what a saved search is in tax information and how to create one. So let's begin. So saved searches, creating a saved search in wire data, which is tax information, is similar to creating a saved search in the Flex side. So to access tax information, click on Menu, and underneath Tax Info, click on Tax Information. This will open you up to the wire data site here. So basically, creating a saved search is when you want to save a search and save those parameters so you can run it at any time in the future. You can use any of the search engines over here. Now, we always get a lot of questions asking, oh, well, how can I grab the addresses in a particular area? Can you draw map shapes in wire data to grab certain addresses in a particular area? You can't do that using a map shape, but there is a way around to do it. So just for example, let's say I wanted to grab a small patch of area over here by the office. So I'm going to switch to the Flex MLS side. So what I would do is I pull up a map. So I'm just going to go to Menu, and underneath Maps Financial, I'll click on Flex MLS Maps. So once it brings up my map, I'm just going to close this little box here. I'm going to zoom down on the area of where I want to grab those addresses. Okay, so the lower you go, then you'll get your addresses. So basically what I would do is I would get the range of addresses, the beginning and the ending address range of each of the streets that I want to grab the records for. So in this case, I want to go between, let me go out here by the office. All right, so this is where we're located here. So let's say the addresses, I wanted to get the north, south, east, and west between 113th Street and 116th Street, North Avenue to Center Street. So in this case, I'd look at the beginning and ending range between the 116th, 15th, 14th, and 13th. So in this case, I see it stops at 2670 and it starts at 2314. So in this case, I would do the 2300 block to the 2700 block just to make sure I got everything of 116th, 115th, 114th, and 113th. Then flipping over, looking at the other side, looking down at North Avenue, the ones that run on the east-west side, I'm looking at between 113th and 116th, it's starting at 113.06 and ending at 115.20. So in this case, I do 113 to 11600 of North, Meineke, Clark, and Center. So this way I'd get the addresses in this square area that you see here between 116th and 113th, North Avenue, and Center Street. So I would jot those addresses range down. Then I'd go back over to my wire data and I'd do an address range search. So I click on that, choose my county, which is Milwaukee, and hit address range search. Choose my municipality, which is Wauwatosa in this case. Then I would do each of those ranges on their own line here. So I'll do 2300 to 2700, and in this case I'm going to use a directional because it could exist on the south side, that address range. North 113th. Then I do the same range for each of those streets that I named before. So I'm just doing this to make things a little bit easier. So it's going to be the same address range but on the different streets. Then 114th, 115th, and 116th. Then I'll quote-unquote flip to go to the east-west, and in this case I'm going to start at 11300 to 11600. That first street was north, and I know that address range doesn't exist on the east side, so you can just be quick about that. think there was 4 streets there. And then the ending address range. I'm just right-clicking and copying and pasting. Alright, so that was North, that was Meineke, and the next street was Clark, and then that last street was Center. Alright, so I've gotten basically that rectangular area. I'm going to get all the parcels from that. Then I'll hit search. So these are all of the parcels within that address range. Let me switch my view because I'm using a, there we go. Alright. Okay, so if I want to save this search, let's say I run mailers and send them out maybe a couple times a year to certain areas. I wouldn't want to recreate that search all over again by typing in all that stuff. I just want to save the parameters so the next time that I came in, I can just run it. So to save a search, I'm going to come up here and click Save Search. Give this search a name, so I'm going to call it Work Area just for simplicity, but you can call it whatever you want. So once you give it a name, you click Save Search Criteria. So it's saving all of those address ranges that I entered in. Alright, so my criteria is successfully saved. So now when I want to come back in and run it at a later date, maybe some months later, I come over here and click on Save Searches, choose it. It shows you all of the criteria that you've got selected for that search. Then you hit Run, and there's your saved search. So you can easily do a data export or run mailing labels, whatever you'd like to do. Okay? So in any of these parcels, if any of the information has updated in these records, it'll automatically update. No need for you to manually go run it again to pull in new information. All of the parcels, if there's any information that's updated in the records, it'll be there for you. This will conclude our tutorial on creating saved searches in tax information.